found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time.
This one's wife. Paris, she elbowed her way in again. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Are you aware that a particular physical feature of the narcissist is that they have the sharpest elbows known to humanity? Yes, you might not have realised that, but the narcissist has those sharp elbows because they're necessary to ensure that they can inveigle their way into certain situations. By having a pointy elbow jabbed into somebody's ribs, it enables the narcissist to insert themselves in particular situations. Why does this happen? Well, it's as a consequence of the fact that the narcissist operates with a sense of entitlement. Naturally, narcissists don't have physically sharper elbows than anybody else. It is simply metaphorical. The narcissist's mindset is that they are special, that they are unique. And that means that they have an automatic understanding that they should be invited to and involved in special events because, well, they are special. That they should be afforded special treatment by virtue of the fact that they are special people. This is why narcissists are often big at self-inviting themselves. And you often think, well, look at the brass neck on that individual turning up when they weren't invited. Often people are too polite to cause a scene, particularly where it's, say, a family event, a birthday, or such like an anniversary where the narcissist wasn't invited, but one could understand why they might have been, and they turn up anyway. They suffer no embarrassment through such action. Indeed, their narcissism tells them that they belong. Whether it's a family birthday, whether it might be an anniversary to which they'd not been invited, a barbecue in somebody's backyard to which they had not been given an invitation or been told about, but somehow they did find out about it, or whether it might be more formal occasions, such as a wedding celebration or an event where numbers are limited. It is often the case that a narcissist will ensure that they turn up. There's no embarrassment about doing so. There's no concern as to, well, I've not been invited, so I shouldn't. Instead, oh, it'll be an oversight. Well, I should be at this. Oh, they mentioned to me that I could come. Naturally, the narcissism provides a valid reason for the narcissist to attend to propel them to come along. And driven by that sense of entitlement, a lack of accountability for their behaviours, their belief that they should be invited because, after all, they are special, the narcissist turns up. They elbow their way in to places where they are not wanted, or, at the least, were not invited. In some cases, the narcissist might be expressly told, you are not invited. Ordinarily, as you know, when there is an event, certain people are invited. So if you've not received an invitation, it's implicit that you are not to attend. But sometimes, because of past behaviours of the narcissist, who has developed a reputation for not only turning up when they're not wanted, but for causing trouble at events, whether they were invited or not, the narcissist is expressly told, you are not to come. You are not invited, so don't turn up. That, of course, is a threat to control. And in some instances, the narcissist will simply ignore what has been said to them and turn up anyway. And they will have some justification, sometimes plausible, often not, as to why they should be there. And in some instances, they will cause such a scene, along with the typical don't you know who I am, to ensure that they are admitted. In other instances, it can be a little more subtle, whereby the narcissist sees something that they'd like to come to, they haven't so far been invited, and they show a degree of entitlement by contacting the organiser and asking, can I come along? Operating on the principle of shy bairns get no chocolate. Their narcissism tells them, well, if I ask to come, I'll be invited after all. It's something I should be at. They want me there. I'm special. It'll make them look good. They'll benefit from it. It's this kind of entitlement that you see with dreaded influencers who contact restaurants and explain, I've got 3,500 followers. If you give me a free meal, I will give you a good review. Naturally, exposure doesn't pay bills, and any sensible restaurant would decline. But it is a similar level of entitlement. Now, not every single influencer who behaves that way is a narcissist, but they are exhibiting entitlement, whereby they believe that they should gain admittance to something which either they wouldn't ordinarily be invited to, or which they could attend at, but they expect to be given it for free. Just recently, this one's wife turned up at Paris Fashion Week and was seen at the Balenciaga show. There's been quite a bit of speculation as to the terms on which she attended. Was it the case that Balenciaga, desperate for exposure, thought, well, who out there is desperate enough to want to be associated with our pedo brand? I know, the Duchess of Sussex. If there's an envelope being opened, she'll turn up. She's Deborah desperate these days. She's bound to want to come. Let's invite her. There's been some suggestion that she was paid a considerable sum of money. $1 million has been mentioned. In other instances, the suggestion was that money wasn't paid to her in that sense, but she was given a mid-tier suite, that she was given, of course, transport, her airfare was paid, etc., for her to turn up at the Balenciaga show because she would generate publicity. I suppose they'd be operating on the basis that all publicity is good publicity, irrespective of the fact that it ends up with an embarrassing no mark of a woman turning up. Interestingly, fresh light has been spread on the matter, which suggests that once again she elbowed her way into an event. The Cut magazine, you'll remember that, with regard to Alison P. Davis's interview of this one's wife, which turned out to be a piss take, and had memorable moments about candles lighting themselves and this one's wife not knowing the difference between guttural and visceral, and then sitting there and just making sounds rather than actually talking. What a fucking weirdo. In this interview, it takes place with the Balenciaga designer Pierpaolo Piccioli, with he talking about various aspects of the fashion show and his fashion career. But a question is asked of him. This one's wife, the Duchess of Sussex, made a surprise appearance at her first Paris Fashion Week show, wearing 2 custom looks. How did that happen? Pierpaolo Piccioli replies, this one's wife and I met some years ago, and we've been texting ever since. Pausing there. This one's wife repeatedly hoovering him, because it's easy to do so, because if there's an electronic means between you and the narcissist will use it. He is a non-intimate secondary source in her fuel matrix. He continues by explaining, she reached out and said she'd love to come to the show. There was no strategy or big orchestration. I didn't tell anyone she was coming, because I wanted it to stay a surprise. In fashion, real surprises are rare, and this one was beautiful. So there we have it. This one's wife got in touch to say that she would like to come along. She invited herself. She told them, I want to come, so make sure that I do. They didn't think to themselves, who can we involve? Let's have the Duchess of Sussex. No. Once again, demonstrating her sense of entitlement and those sharpened elbows, she contacted them and said, I'd love to come to the show. Now, it might be the deal was then thrashed out with regard to the covering of expenses, etc. We don't know. But what is clear, because it comes from the mouth of Pierpaolo Piccioli, that she invited herself. She elbowed her way in again. And it's quite laughable, because a brand that has suffered such a hit to its image since the pedo images of November 2022 didn't even think to invite her in the first place. That tells you something, doesn't it? And instead, she once again had to contact them to say, I'd love to come. Presumably then adding, will you invite me and will you pay for me? Whatever it might be. But the fact is, this one's wife had to invite herself, because ordinarily, yep, she's not fucking invited. She's NFI. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.